22-year-old TikTok influencer Dylan Viral King Thompson had never taken seriously anyone who hadn't gotten 5 million views. When he saw Chuck Norris's follower count and started mocking him, he would learn that real influence comes from authentic skill, not algorithms. The Influence Gym in West Hollywood represented everything that defined fitness culture in the social media age. A carefully curated environment where every piece of equipment was positioned for optimal camera angles, where lighting had been professionally designed to make content creators look their best, and where the primary purpose wasn't just physical training but the creation of viral content that could generate millions of views across multiple platforms. The facility's sleek interior featured exposed brick walls lined with neon lighting, state-of-the-art equipment that looked as impressive as it functioned, and designated content creation zones, where influencers could film without interrupting each other's shoots. Multiple camera setups, ring lights, and professional audio equipment were available for rent by the hour, making Influence Gym the preferred destination for fitness influencers, martial arts content creators, and anyone seeking to monetize their physical abilities through social media engagement. Dylan Viral King Thompson moved through this environment like a digital native who had never known a world without smartphones, algorithms, and the constant pursuit of viral content. At 22 years old, he stood 5 feet 9 inches with the lean, athletic build of someone who had discovered that physical fitness translated directly into social media success. Defined abs photographed well, martial arts demonstrations generated engagement, and controversial takes about fighting techniques could spark comment wars that boosted algorithmic reach. Dylan's rise to TikTok stardom had been meteoric and carefully calculated. Starting with basic martial arts training videos at age 19, he had quickly learned that success on social media required more than just skill. It demanded personality, controversy, and an intuitive understanding of what content would trigger the algorithmic systems that determined which videos reached millions of viewers versus those that languished in digital obscurity. His TikTok account, @ViralKingFighter, boasted 8.2 million followers who consumed his daily content with the kind of devoted attention that advertisers paid enormous sums to access. His videos consistently generated between 2 to 15 million views, with his most successful posts reaching viral status and being shared across multiple platforms, generating income through sponsorship deals, merchandise sales, and brand partnerships that had made him financially independent before his 22nd birthday. Content is everything, Dylan would tell aspiring influencers who attended his paid workshops about building social media fighting brands. It doesn't matter how good you are if nobody sees it. The algorithm rewards engagement, and engagement comes from giving people what they want to watch, share, and argue about. This philosophy had shaped every aspect of Dylan's approach to martial arts and content creation. His training sessions were designed as much for camera appeal as for skill development. Dramatic techniques that looked impressive in short-form video, controversial statements about traditional martial arts that sparked debate in comment sections, and carefully crafted feuds with other content creators that generated cross-platform attention and increased follower counts for everyone involved. Dylan's content strategy was sophisticated and data-driven. He analyzed engagement metrics obsessively, testing different posting times, hashtag combinations, and content formats to maximize reach. His team included a full-time video editor, a social media manager, and a data analyst who helped optimize every aspect of his digital presence for maximum algorithmic performance. The difference between viral and invisible is understanding the platform, Dylan would explain during his coaching session. Traditional martial artists think skill speaks for itself, but on social media, presentation is everything. You have to give the algorithm what it wants, and you have to give viewers content that makes them stop scrolling. His fighting skills, while not championship level, were certainly respectable. Dylan had trained in multiple disciplines, kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and mixed martial arts, with enough competence to demonstrate techniques convincingly on camera and to hold his own in the controlled sparring sessions he filmed for content. But his true genius lay in understanding how to package martial arts for digital consumption by audiences who valued entertainment value over technical authenticity. The Influence Gym where Dylan trained had become the epicenter of Los Angeles's fitness influencer community. The facility attracted content creators from across the spectrum: bodybuilders, yoga instructors, martial artists, and wellness coaches who understood that success in the modern fitness industry required mastering social media as much as mastering their chosen disciplines. Marcus Chen, the gym's owner and a former professional fighter turned entrepreneur, had designed Influence Gym specifically to serve this new generation of fitness professionals who monetized their expertise through digital platforms rather than traditional competition or instruction. The fitness industry has completely changed, Marcus would explain to traditional trainers who questioned his gym's social media focus. These kids aren't just athletes, they're media companies. They understand that building an audience is more valuable than winning competitions that nobody watches. That Tuesday afternoon, the gym was hosting a special event about building authentic fighting content, featuring speakers who would discuss how to create martial arts content that engaged audiences while maintaining technical credibility. The event had drawn content creators from throughout the Los Angeles influencer community, all eager to learn from experts who had successfully balanced entertainment value with martial arts authenticity. Among the invited speakers was Chuck Norris, who had been asked to discuss how traditional martial arts could be adapted for modern digital audiences without losing their essential character. Chuck's invitation had come through entertainment industry connections who appreciated his unique position as someone who had successfully transitioned between competitive martial arts, film, and digital content creation across multiple decades. Chuck arrived at Influence Gym dressed in simple dark jeans and a black polo shirt, his presence immediately recognizable but characteristically understated. At 73 years old, he moved through the hypermodern environment with obvious curiosity about how drastically the landscape of martial arts presentation had evolved since his own early career in entertainment and competition. Accompanying Chuck were Jennifer Park, a digital marketing strategist who specialized in helping traditional martial artists build online audiences, and Mike Rodriguez, a former competitive fighter who now worked as a content consultant for martial arts influencers. They had come to the seminar as part of a broader research project about how authentic martial arts could be preserved and transmitted through social media platforms that prioritized engagement over education. Mr. Norris, Jennifer explained as they toured the facility, "We're particularly interested in your perspective on how traditional martial arts values can be maintained in digital spaces that reward controversy and spectacle over depth and discipline." Chuck nodded thoughtfully, his eyes taking in the gym's sophisticated content creation setup with obvious appreciation for its technical sophistication. "The challenge is finding ways to make authentic martial arts engaging enough to compete for attention in an environment where everything is designed to capture and hold interest for just a few seconds." Dylan had been observing Chuck's arrival from across the gym, his assessment colored by assumptions that reflected his fundamental belief that social media metrics provided the most accurate measure of contemporary relevance and influence. Here was someone whose primary claim to significance came from an era before digital platforms existed, someone who, in Dylan's worldview, represented outdated approaches to building audiences and creating content. "Look at this guy," Dylan said to his filming assistant, Emma, while pointing discreetly toward Chuck. 73 years old, probably doesn't even understand TikTok, and they invited him to talk about content creation. "What's his follower count? Like 50K. Emma, who served as Dylan's social media manager and had developed sophisticated knowledge about digital marketing across multiple platforms, glanced at Chuck with the practiced eye of someone trained to assess online influence through visible metrics. "Actually, let me check," she said, pulling out her phone to research Chuck's social media presence. After a few moments of scrolling, her expression shifted to surprise. "Dylan, his TikTok has 5.7 million followers, Instagram has 12.3 million, and his YouTube channel has 8.9 million subscribers." Dylan's confident assessment immediately shifted to defensive skepticism. "Those have to be bought followers or legacy numbers from when he was relevant. When was his last viral video? Nobody that old creates content that actually performs with real engagement." Emma continued scrolling through Chuck's recent posts, her surprise growing as she analyzed the engagement metrics. "Dude, his last TikTok got 4.2 million views 3 days ago. His engagement rate is actually higher than yours, like 12% versus your 8%. This information directly challenged Dylan's fundamental assumptions about the relationship between age, relevance, and social media success. In his worldview, authentic digital influence belonged exclusively to his generation, creators who had grown up with social media platforms and understood intuitively how to generate the kind of content that algorithms rewarded with massive reach. "That's impossible," Dylan said, his tone carrying genuine confusion rather than mere skepticism. "Old people don't understand digital content creation. They don't know how to optimize for algorithms or create engaging short-form content. His numbers have to be fake or from some nostalgic audience that doesn't represent real engagement." As the afternoon's formal presentations began, Dylan listened with professional attention to discussions about content strategy, audience building, and the technical aspects of creating martial arts content that could succeed across multiple platforms. His own contribution to the group discussion was characteristically confident, emphasizing the importance of understanding platform-specific algorithms, the necessity of controversial takes for driving engagement, and the superiority of data-driven content creation over traditional approaches. Chuck had been observing Dylan throughout throughout the afternoon with growing interest in his obvious technical knowledge and sophisticated understanding of digital marketing. The young influencer's insights about platform optimization were genuinely valuable. His grasp of audience psychology was evident, and his success in building a substantial following was undeniable. During the question and answer period that followed Chuck's presentation about maintaining authenticity while building digital audiences, Dylan raised his hand with the kind of confident authority that characterized all his interactions but concealed fundamental skepticism about the relevance of pre-digital experience to contemporary content creation. "Mr. Norris," Dylan said, his voice carrying the tone of someone accustomed to being heard with respect in digital marketing circles, "I appreciate your insights about traditional martial arts values, but I'm curious about how experience from before social media platforms existed can be relevant to current content creation strategies." Chuck nodded encouragingly, recognizing the underlying challenge in the question. "That's an excellent point, Dylan. The platforms and technologies have certainly changed dramatically, and I'm still learning about optimization strategies that you probably understand much better than I do. The challenge," Dylan continued, his tone maintaining professional courtesy while making his position clear, "is that social media content creation requires understanding algorithm behavior, engagement psychology, and platform-specific optimization techniques that simply didn't exist before digital platforms. How do you see traditional approaches contributing to success in environments that reward viral content over depth?" The question hung in the air with obvious challenge, though Dylan's tone remained scrupulously professional. Jennifer Park leaned forward with interest, recognizing that this exchange might reveal something important about how different generations approached the intersection of authentic expertise and digital marketing. Chuck considered the question carefully before responding. "You're absolutely right about the technical complexity of modern platforms. I'm constantly trying to learn about optimization strategies and algorithm behavior from creators like you who understand these systems intuitively." Dylan's expression remained professionally neutral, but his eyes showed that Chuck's answer hadn't fully addressed his concerns about the practical relevance of pre-digital experience to contemporary content creation. "Given those technological requirements, how do you see traditional martial arts contributing meaningfully to content that needs to compete for attention against creators who've grown up understanding these platforms?" "I think the value might be in providing substance that can sustain long-term audience building," Chuck replied with genuine respect for Dylan's expertise. "Technical optimization gets content seen, but authentic expertise might be what keeps audiences engaged beyond initial viral moments." Dylan nodded politely, but his body language suggested that he remained unconvinced by what he viewed as an attempt to maintain relevance in an industry that had moved beyond the experience of previous generations. As the formal presentations concluded and the event moved into informal networking and demonstration periods, he found himself increasingly bothered by what he saw as the group's uncritical acceptance of Chuck's perspectives on digital content creation. During a break in the proceedings, Dylan approached Chuck with the kind of respectful formality that influencer culture demanded, but with an underlying agenda that went beyond simple professional network. "Mr. Norris," he said, maintaining proper social media etiquette, "I hope you won't think me presumptuous, but I'd be very interested in seeing how traditional martial arts translates to viral content creation. Perhaps you'd be willing to participate in a demonstration that we could film." Chuck's expression showed neither surprise nor defensiveness at what was clearly a challenge disguised as a collaboration opportunity. "I'd be happy to participate in any way that would be helpful for your content." "Excellent," Dylan said, his tone maintaining perfect influencer courtesy, while his eyes revealed satisfaction at having created an opportunity to demonstrate the limitations of traditional approaches in contemporary content creation environments. "Perhaps we could explore some basic content creation principles? I'm always interested in seeing how different generational approaches handle viral content optimization." Emma immediately recognized the significance of what was developing and began setting up camera equipment to document the interaction. This kind of spontaneous collaboration between different generations of content creators was exactly the type of material that could generate massive engagement across multiple platforms. Within minutes, a section of the gym had been cleared and optimized for filming, with professional lighting, multiple camera angles, and audio equipment positioned to capture content that would meet contemporary technical standards. The seminar participants had gathered to observe what promised to be an illuminating demonstration of how different approaches to content creation might interact in practical application. Dylan prepared for the filming session with social media precision, adjusting his appearance for optimal camera appeal, checking lighting angles, and mentally reviewing content strategies that would maximize the viral potential of whatever footage they captured. His movements were economical and purposeful, each gesture reflecting the kind of technical awareness that came from years of creating content designed for algorithmic distribution. Chuck's preparation was markedly different. He simply stood quietly in the designated filming area, doing gentle stretching movements that looked more like meditation than content optimization. At 73, he no longer possessed the explosive athleticism that characterized viral martial arts content, but his presence suggested a different kind of readiness, not the calculated energy of someone preparing for viral content creation, but the settled confidence of someone who understood exactly what he was capable of demonstrating. "What kind of content would you like to create?" Chuck asked, his tone indicating genuine interest in learning about contemporary content creation rather than proving anything about traditional approaches. Dylan's response revealed the depth of his confidence in modern social media methodology. "Let's create something that demonstrates martial arts principles while optimizing for viral potential, the kind of content that can generate millions of views through platform-specific engagement strategies." "Sounds good," Chuck agreed. "I should mention that I'm not familiar with current optimization techniques, so you'll probably need to guide the content creation process." Dylan moved into a position optimized for camera angles and algorithmic appeal, his stance demonstrating textbook form for viral content creation. His positioning was perfect for the kind of short-form martial arts content that characterized successful TikTok videos, and his mental preparation was obvious in his focused attention to lighting, framing, and the technical elements that determined whether content succeeded or failed in digital environment. "Please, demonstrate something that shows traditional martial arts," Dylan said, his confidence in modern content creation methodology absolute. "I'll show how contemporary creators adapt traditional techniques for viral optimization." Chuck approached with respectful caution, engaging with Dylan in what appeared to be a straightforward demonstration of basic martial arts principles. Dylan immediately began applying one of his most refined content creation strategies, a combination of dramatic technique demonstration and engaging commentary designed to create the kind of multi-layered content that algorithms rewarded with massive distribution. But something unexpected happened. As Dylan executed techniques specifically designed for viral appeal, optimized for visual impact and audience engagement, Chuck responded not with matching theatricality or contemporary content strategies, but with something that transcended the immediate demands of algorithm optimization. Chuck's movements weren't optimized for camera angles or designed for viral distribution. They were simply authentic demonstrations of fundamental martial arts principles, executed with the kind of understated competence that characterized genuine expertise rather than performative skill. The contrast was immediately apparent to everyone watching. Dylan's techniques, while technically proficient and perfectly optimized for social media consumption, looked somehow hollow next to Chuck's straightforward demonstration of authentic martial arts ability. "Interesting," Dylan said, his confidence momentarily shaken, but his determination to prove the superiority of contemporary content creation intensified. "Let me show you how modern creators optimize traditional techniques for maximum engagement." Dylan employed more sophisticated content strategies, using principles of viral optimization that reflected advanced understanding of contemporary audience psychology and algorithm behavior. His demonstration was flawless, exactly as it had been refined through years of successful content creation and millions of views across multiple platforms. Again, Chuck's response was simply authentic martial arts demonstration, without any attempt to compete for visual appeal or algorithmic optimization. But somehow, his understated competence made Dylan's carefully optimized performance look artificial and calculated in comparison. For the third attempt, Dylan abandoned his teaching mode and began creating content with the intensity that had generated his most viral video. He employed a rapid series of content creation techniques, each one proven effective across multiple platforms, each one designed to maximize engagement through visual impact and dramatic presentation. Chuck responded to this increased theatrical intensity not with matching performance or contemporary content strategies, but with what appeared to be effortless authenticity. He seemed to demonstrate martial arts principles so naturally that Dylan's calculated optimization techniques looked forced and inauthentic in comparison. After several minutes of this increasingly one-sided demonstration, Dylan stopped, breathing harder than someone of his conditioning should have been after what appeared to be a relatively controlled content creation session. "I don't understand," he said, his voice carrying genuine confusion rather than defensiveness. "Your approach, it doesn't follow viral optimization principles, doesn't use contemporary engagement strategies." But somehow, Chuck's expression showed only respectful attention, no trace of triumph or condescension. "Your content creation skills are genuinely excellent, Dylan. Your understanding of platform optimization is obvious, and your success in building an audience is undeniable." "Then how?" "You're applying viral optimization techniques exactly as contemporary platforms reward them," Chuck explained patiently. "But you're optimizing for algorithms rather than for the people who actually watch watched the content. Dylan looked confused, so Chuck continued. Social media platforms teach creators to optimize for engagement metrics and algorithmic distribution. But when content is designed primarily for systems rather than for human connection, it can become technically perfect but emotionally hollow. The insight hit Dylan like a revelation. For all his technical sophistication, for all his understanding of contemporary content creation, he had been optimizing for metrics rather than for genuine value to his audience. But viral content, Dylan began. Viral content is excellent for reaching large audiences quickly, Chuck agreed. But sustainable influence requires providing value that goes beyond initial algorithmic distribution. People follow accounts that consistently offer them something meaningful, not just something that's optimized for platform algorithm. Marcus Chun stepped forward, recognizing that the demonstration had revealed something profound about the relationship between technical optimization and authentic content creation. What we've just witnessed, he said carefully, illustrates something fundamental about the difference between creating content for algorithms and creating content for people. Both approaches have value, but real influence comes from connecting with audiences, not just reaching them. Dylan stood in the center of the filming area, his worldview undergoing the kind of fundamental reassessment that only comes from encountering something that challenges everything you thought you knew. For years, he had equated viral optimization with content mastery, believing that algorithmic success represented the highest achievement in digital influence. I think, Dylan said slowly, I've been an excellent student of viral optimization, but maybe not such a good student of authentic content creation. Chuck's response showed the kind of wisdom that could only come from decades of learning across multiple platforms and generations. Viral optimization provides incredibly sophisticated tools for reaching audiences. But the goal isn't to replace authentic value. It's to use technical skills to help genuine expertise reach the people who can benefit from it. As the demonstration concluded and the gym began to return to normal activity, Dylan approached Chuck with a request that would have been unthinkable at the beginning of the afternoon. Chuck, he said, using the informal address for the first time, would you be willing to collaborate on some content? I think I could learn as much from your technical knowledge as I could contribute about authentic content. Your optimization skills are incredibly sophisticated, probably more advanced than anything I understand about contemporary platforms. But maybe together we can explore how technical excellence and authentic value can strengthen each other. In the months that followed, Dylan's content underwent a quiet revolution. He maintained all the technical sophistication and optimization knowledge that had made him a viral success, but he began approaching content creation as a means of providing genuine value rather than just algorithmic performance. His engagement rates improved dramatically as audiences responded to content that combined viral appeal with authentic expertise. More importantly, Dylan's relationship with his audience evolved from transactional optimization to genuine community building. The video documentation from that afternoon's demonstration became a case study in digital marketing programs throughout the industry, not because it showed traditional methods defeating contemporary techniques, but because it demonstrated how authentic value and technical optimization could strengthen each other rather than competing. A year later, when Dylan was invited to speak at the largest social media marketing conference in the country, he dedicated his presentation to what he called the day I learned the difference between viral optimization and valuable content. Chuck, characteristically, deflected credit for Dylan's continued growth. He already had all the technical skills he needed. Chuck told Jennifer when she asked about the transformation she had witnessed, "Sometimes we just need someone to help us remember that technology should serve authentic value, not replace it. And sometimes the most profound lessons come not from learning new optimization techniques, but from discovering that real influence, the kind that sustains careers and builds genuine communities, comes from combining technical excellence with authentic value, understanding that the most viral content isn't necessarily the most meaningful, but the most meaningful content, when properly optimized, can achieve both reach and lasting impact."